I think Sega is probably trying to make another Sonic fighting game. Well, what this information we just got recently. A couple days ago, Sega has filed a new trademark for a game called Sonic Blitz. Currently, they are hiring for more developmental staff for this game. Currently, if you look at the details of recruitment requirements, they're looking for development staff for a 3D battle action game. Now, I saw this a couple days and I was like, okay, whatever. I just heard of Sonic Blitz. I just let it rock. But then I see the job listing, and if y'all know what battle action pertains to, that attains to the fighting game Arena Fighters. In America and most other places that's called the type of game it is, Arena Fighter, it's usually called in Japan, or how they label it, battle action. Or you might see competitive action or something like that, because it translates to battle, competitive, same difference. So is Sonic getting a new fighting game similar to games like Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Bleach Rebirth of Souls, or even Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm like? It's not too far-fetched to me either, because Sega already has the rights to CC2 with doing Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles. And for people that don't know, Sonic is like the realest shit for me. And my favorite game of all time is Sonic Adventure 2 to this day. I can turn that on, play through it, and be happy like I played it for the first time. That is called my comfort game. A lot of Sonic games and fan games have been really great. They have literally been tailored towards what I like in a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom styled games. I know Sonic Smackdown is one like that I can think of off the top of my head. But man, thinking about it, Sonic getting an amazing fucking arena fighter, like, if it looks pretty too, that's crazy. And I feel like I had to talk about this because a lot of Sonic fans don't really talk about these style of games, and I care about it as the type of game I play. And there's so many different ways Sonic can go with this style of game. It might not even just be the whole arena fighter thing that people talk about. If you come from Sonic or that type of thing, listen, not all anime games are arena fighters. It's just the ones that they market to you and shove in your face. Prime example, Sonic the Fighters was probably closer to like a Tekken-like game than something like Naruto Storm. Remember, there's a huge difference in arena fighters and 3D fighting games, if you didn't know. I'ma just put this clip from years ago so y'all can see the difference. I'm gonna remake this as a short one day, but just watch this. 3D fighter, movement happens in 3 dimensions and it's done relative to your opponent. In addition to being able to move towards and away from the opponent and jumping up and down, you can sidestep to the left or right of them. Essentially, 3D fighting games play largely within a 2D plane of motion. Anime arena fighters give you full 360 control of your character, letting you move in any way you please. 95% of the time, the camera will always be fixed to the backside of the character. You are using the whole entire match. At that point, you're probably wondering why not just go with a 2D fighting game or a 3D fighter. To be honest, if you guys didn't know, arena fighters usually sell better than fighting games on an average. Like, yeah, you could use Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 and MK as your main outlier for that statement, but everything else that's not those usually does worse than arena fighters. And even with the success of Sparking Zero, and we know it's Dragon Ball and riding off the coattail of Tenkaichi's name, that game did 4.4 million in less than 24 hours, or at least 4 to 5 days. That's crazy to me. No, we know what it generally needs. It needs to have the good online and netcode. It has to have the good lobbies where people can play the games with each other. But what type of 3D battle action game I would love to see? I would love to see them take Sonic Battle and remake it and reimagine it to this amazing arena fighter. Because the game was already beautiful to me back then. That was one of my favorite handheld fighting games of all time, which if y'all would like to see me make a video about handheld fighting games, comment down below. I really want to make that video. But yeah, I like that. Also, if you look at the job listing thing, it's more than likely a fighting game based off of the job descriptions they're asking for, because they're asking creating specifications, game balance adjustments, stage creation, meaning that they have to have multiple maps. Seeing that it has stage creation, it has to be very akin to at least the worst case scenario, which I love, Power Stone, trading various data and debugging work. They won't frame data in the Sonic. Oh, that got me hyped, man, you know. And then you scroll down and it says in development by the second Sega development division. You're probably like, who's developing it? Now, it's probably not going to be CC2's level, and it's not going to be like Spike with what they did with Sparking Zero, but this is Sega's second development division. And that means it's being developed by in-house of Sonic Team. And I ain't gonna lie, Sonic Team has been cooking. They've been on their ass. They've been on the comeback. And even then, if you want to look into their discography all the way back from the PS4, they have all the good shit under their belts. They just did Sonic X Shadow Generations, they've done Sonic Frontiers and Persona 5 Royal as well, and helped out probably with Atlas. And another interesting thing is that they have a lot of games you probably never heard about, like Iketsu Taizen, Chunium Luminous, Puyo Puyo, Puzzle Top, whatever, if you ain't heard of that before. They do a lot of games that are constantly doing something or giving you an action. They might be well equipped to make an arena fighter. To me, usually companies that have like a background in like rhythm games and things of that nature kinda can get the gist of how to work in fighting games. I've been seeing that pattern as long as I've been making fighting game content. If you got a background in those, you're probably gonna be a-okay. And I found something interesting. One of the head producers of the Sega Division 2 has a background in working on fighting games to some extent. Osamu Ohashi has claimed to be worked on deeper with Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax. If you don't know, that game fucking amazing. I'm not trying to hype you up. I'm telling you, that game, one of the funnest anime fighting games in existence. That's all I gotta say today. I really want to talk about this Sonic game in production. Just letting y'all know, it might get crazy out here for arena fighters, because I feel like we need more companies out of the typical ones making them, because the more that would like to produce them, the better the quality of those games can get. Because a lot of times, even though I'm a big fan of Bandai and a lot of other companies and what they do, they skip out on some areas of the games and it just hurts the product overall. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, but if y'all enjoyed this video for more fighting games, action games, tips, tricks, and guides, and everything else in between, whatever the hell I want to talk about, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, because if there is a fighting game, I'll be one of the main people updating y'all here. I'm out. Peace.
Let's see who's stronger.